What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Also, hit that post notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Got a couple specials for you guys. Get yourself down in the description box. Check out that first link, which is that Moomu link. Limited time offer. Don't delay, act today. Open up a new Moomu account. You get yourself up to $1,100 in cash rewards / NVIDIA stock shares, guys. Like I said, this is a limited time offer. It's going to be expiring here very, very soon. So if you're somebody out there that wants to take advantage of this, number one thing you got to do is click on that first link, which is that Moomu link. Now, if you open up a new Moomu brokerage account, like I said, and you put qualifying deposits in your new brokerage account, you got to make a deposit, qualifying deposits, then you're going to get yourself up to $1,100 in NVIDIA stock and cash reward. All the details are in the link. So click on that first link. It'll walk you through what the deposit requirements are. And man, why not get yourself off to a great start in 2026? By using a brokerage app that I've been using since 2024. And again, man, I'm not the only one that uses it, guys. Millions of people around the world use the Moomu brokerage app. If you don't believe me, get on YouTube and go to the search bar on YouTube and type in Moomu and hit search. You'll see what comes up. Many creators use Moomu and they talk about Moomu in their videos. Also, Moomu advertises on, YouTube. So I don't know what to tell you. Go do your homework on it. If you want to get the goodies, certainly hit the link down in the description box. Second one is going to be the Wealth Builders Financial Community on Patreon. That's my community I started in 2024 for like-minded people chasing financial freedom. And they didn't want to chase it by themselves. They wanted to belong to a community of other people chasing it so that they got the benefit of information. See, when you got one person searching, researching, trial and error, better if you got 2,000 people doing that to help. So that's what we do in the Wealth Builders Financial Community. We just help each other, man. None of us are experts. We don't try to tell you what to do. We're just regular people, man, that are sick and tired of having to work every day. At some point in our life, we want financial freedom where we don't have to work. A lot of us want to retire early. Most of us don't want to work till we're 65. Some of us want to retire early, maybe in our 40s, maybe in our 50s. We want to retire, but we won't do that unless we build wealth. We got to have something else to replace this active income that we don't want to do anymore. We got to have some passive income. But to get passive income, you got to have assets. And that's what we do in the Wealth Builders Financial Community on Patreon. We just help each other try to figure out a way to get to financial freedom and passive income. And we do that by doing research. And then when we come back to the community with our research, we just exercise our First Amendment right, freedom of speech, constitutional right, which is to give our personal opinion on what research we've just done. We got 2,000 members in there, guys. We had a live stream last night. Monday night live stream. We have it every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Off the chain. A lot of good questions, a lot of good camaraderie, a lot of good information. We're getting ready for 2026. We're going to talk about that today. Why I believe personally it's going to be a monster year. See, I went out and did some research, and I'm going to share the research with you. Why I am determining it's going to be a monster year for me if I just execute. If I just discipline, consistency, patience, and execute, monster year based on my research. Again, First Amendment right, freedom of speech. It's a constitutional right. I'm just sharing my personal opinion. Please go out and do your own homework. Please go talk to your financial advisor. Please go talk to your mailman or whoever you talk to about advice. Go talk to them. I'm just giving you my opinion. So if you want to join the Wealth Builders, click on that second link. It'll take you over to Patreon. Sign up, guys, and come join us. Come join this movement, this financial freedom movement. Come join us. We'd love to have you. All right. let's talk about this concept of 2026 and why I believe it's going to be a monster year. Here's where I'm coming from. I did a little research. Let's talk about the research. Let's run through the research, and then I'm going to give you my constitutional right, First Amendment right, freedom of speech right, personal opinion. But let's go to the information. Let's go to the research. Here's what the research says. While predicting a skyrocket is uncertain, Wall Street analysts are generally optimistic for the 2026 stock market, forecasting double-digit growth driven by continued AI investment, robust tech sector earnings, and a booming economy, with the S&P 500 potentially hitting new highs, though some caution that high valuations and persistent inflation could bring volatility. Now, that's just a recap, but we're going to get into the meat and potatoes here. That's a recap of what your Wall Street analysts are predicting for 2026. That don't mean it'll come true, but this is what they're predicting. So a guy like me says, hey, if the experts are predicting this, how can I get myself in position to be able to take advantage of this thing if it actually happens? Personally, I believe it'll happen, but we'll get to my personal opinion here in a second. So let's look at some key drivers for growth for 2026. What are the key drivers that'll drive growth? And when I hear growth, guys, I think of what? Financial freedom. See, when I hear growth, I think of financial freedom because I'm trying to grow my wealth. And if I'm going to grow my wealth in 2026, I got to tie into things that are going to be growing. Does that make sense? If I want growth in my portfolio, if I want growth in my life, if I want growth in my relationships, I better tap into something that's growing. And that's what we're looking at here. Key drivers for growth. One of the key drivers is going to be AI and the tech boom. Now, this is coming from the Wall Street experts now. These are coming from Wall Street analysts, not me. I'm just reading an article based on Wall Street analysts' predictions. They're saying one of the key drivers for 2026 is going to be AI and tech boom. Continued massive capital spending in artificial intelligence is expected to fuel tech stocks and broader sectors like industrials. So if I'm out here researching, trying to figure out, okay, where can I get the maximum growth? Now, again, nothing's guaranteed. There's no promise of anything. All of this could be nothing. It could go the other direction. So let's be clear about that. This is just a prediction from the experts, but they could be wrong. This thing could go the other direction now. But see, I'm an optimistic investor. I'm not a pessimistic investor. I'm optimistic about investing. So here's some optimistic outlooks, and then we'll talk about some pessimistic outlooks in a second, if you hang in there with me. But let's talk about the optimism. So the experts are saying they're going to see a continued boom in AI and tech, driven by major, gigantic companies continuing to invest in their artificial intelligence infrastructure, AKA Meta, AKA Alphabet, AKA Microsoft, AKA Oracle. See, these are hyperscalers and mega caps. They're going to continue to invest billions and billions of dollars into data centers, large language models, etc. ChatGPT, Google AI. Everything I do now, guys, I do it on Google AI or ChatGPT. Anything I want to look up, I don't even I go straight to Google AI, ChatGPT on this phone right here. Anything I want to know in the history of humanity, I can get it on Google, AI, or Chat GPT. Anything I want to know about any civilization 20,000 years ago, I can get it right here. Now, how in the world are you going to stop that? Who going to stop that? You can't stop that. They're telling you right here, in their opinion, in the experts' opinion, hyperscalers and mega caps are going to keep driving this thing. Why? Because if they're not first, they're last. Okay, let's move on. Next key driver, strong earnings. Analysts anticipate accelerating corporate earnings, especially in tech, with some expecting mid-double-digit growth for the S&P 500. Back to that tech thing again. Wall Street analysts are predicting that we're going to have a strong 2026 corporate earnings year. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. I'm just giving you what the analysts are predicting. I don't know if that's true or not. But if I got any indication of what 25 was, when we did have a strong 2025 in corporate earnings, guys, go look at the numbers. Go look at the numbers. We had a strong 2025 in corporate earnings led by tech. And it's going to continue to be led by tech. And I just told you why, in my opinion. How in the world can you stop something where I can go to my phone and speak into my phone and ask it about anything in the history of the world and it gives it to me within 3 seconds? How you going to stop that? Who going to stop that? Nobody. We got to figure out, they're burning too much electricity, these data centers. Guess what? You got companies like Navitas working with your large hyperscalers and your mega caps and your semiconductors, trying to figure out a more efficient way to electrify these things, to provide energy or fuel to them. But they're not going to stop. Your light bill going to go up. That's what's going to happen. So if you ain't out here with multiple streams of income and living below your means, then yeah, you're going to be in some financial trouble, guys. The electricity is going up, but that ain't nothing new. Everything goes up every single year. Now, how fast it goes up or how much it goes up, yeah, we want to pull that back, but you can't stop the cost of living. How do you get over the cost of living? Make more money. That's how you do it. You make more money. So if cost of living is going up by 4% and you're getting a 2% raise, you stuck like Chuck. You need to be doing something where your raise or your money that you're earning is outpacing inflation. But they're not going to stop progress because you don't want your light bill to go up. Your light bill going up. Make more money. That's how you combat that. Oh, my eggs are more expensive. Yeah, they're going to continue to be more expensive. Make more money. Or don't eat eggs. You know what I'm saying? Third key driver for growth in 2026, according to the experts, economic strength. A booming U.S. economy with solid GDP growth provides a strong foundation for market performance. So now these Wall Street analysts believe that we're going to have a pretty decent GDP in 2026. Now, whether that's going to happen or not, I can't predict that. I can only tell you what the experts are saying. They're saying they are predicting a strong GDP for 2026. What's strong? Anything north of 2%. Anything north of 2% is a strong GDP, guys. That's my opinion now. Constitutional right, First Amendment right, freedom of speech, right? Personal opinion. Anything north of 2% GDP is good. Let's move on. Here's the fourth key driver for growth in 2026 that could skyrocket everything. Here we go. Historical patterns. See, here's where the research comes in. This is from the Analyst. Historical patterns. Here's what they got to say. Bull markets often show momentum, and the fourth year of a bull cycle historically yields positive returns. So guess what they're telling you right now? We're going into the fourth year of a bull cycle. Going into the fourth year of a bull cycle. Now, that's not Richard Fain. I don't even, I'm not the expert here, guys. I'm just telling you what the Wall Street analysts are predicting. Again, doesn't mean it's going to become true. I'm just telling you what these experts, these people who get paid to do this all day, every day, with big old gigantic computers, powerful computers, big old gigantic algorithms, work for the largest financial institutions in the world. This is what they're predicting. They're saying that we're going into the fourth year of a bull cycle. If you don't know what that means, go to ChatGPT, go to Google AI, and ask ChatGPT, Google AI, what a bull cycle is. And it'll tell you. So keep telling y'all guys, you got all the information you need right here. You don't need nothing else but this. You just got to know how to use it, right? Go figure out what that is. But those are your 4 reasons why analysts, Wall Street analysts, are predicting 2026 could be a good year. So if I'm reading this and if I believe there's any merit to it, what should I be doing prior to 2026? Getting in position. See, prior to 2026, if I believe any of this, I should be getting in position. And what is getting in position for Richard Fain? Multiple streams of income. Number 1, got to have multiple streams of income. Can't rely on one income, got to have many income streams. Number 2, got to live on the 4 financial principles. Live on less than what I make. Live on a plan, which is a personal budget. Stay out of consumer debt. Save and invest. So number 1 is what? Multiple streams of income. Number 2 is 4 financial principles. And then number 3 is what? Execution. Game plan / execution. Game plan / execution. 3-step approach. Multiple streams of income. Because guess what? It doesn't matter if I got a game plan if I don't got no money to invest. The game plan is worthless. So everything starts with multiple streams of income so that I have actual income, money that I can invest in something. Without that, the game plan don't work. I got to have something to fund. I got to have something to use to execute. Just saying, guys, those are my 3 steps. Multiples of income streams, 4 financial principles, plan / execute. Those are the 3 things that I need in 2026 to be successful, in my personal opinion. You may have different things. Drop them down in the comment box. Let me know what your stratagem is. I just gave you my stratagem. What's your stratagem? You do have a stratagem, right? You're not just winging this thing, are you? You're not just thinking you're going to wake up in the morning and all of a sudden it's going to hit you. Something going to fall out of the sky and hit you on top of the head. Oh, my God, boom. Oh, your strategy is not going to play the lottery every week and spend $25, $30, $40 a week on the lottery. That's not your strategy, is it? Your strategy isn't thinking somebody's going to come knock on your door, pop, 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 and hand you a check. That's not your strategy, is it? Your strategy isn't to sit on the sideline and just watch this thing go by while you're eating popcorn on the couch, is it? That's not your strategy, is it? Hopefully hopefully none of those things are your strategy. Hopefully not. Okay, let's move on. Now, in all fairness, let's give some potential headwinds. I've given you potential tailwinds, potential good things. Now let's give you some potential bad things that could rain on this parade. Now we got to look at both sides. This is how we do it here on this channel. We look at both sides. Potential headwinds. Number 1, valuations. Markets have already priced in much good news, with lofty valuations raising concerns about limited future upside. Now, here's my little 2 cents on that. I'm no expert. I'm not trying to be an expert, but I'm going to give you my little 2 cents on what they're talking about here. You please go out and do your own homework, because you ain't got to listen to me. I'm just one guy giving you his personal opinion. First Amendment right, constitutional right, freedom of speech. Here we go. What are they talking about when they say valuations? Well, they're talking about these big tech companies. See, some folks, some major investors believe these tech companies are overvalued. Basically, they're not worth what on paper they say they're worth. A lot of them are unhappy about hyperscalers and mega caps spending billions and billions and billions of dollars on AI infrastructure, and that CapEx, that investment that they're making into that, ain't really yielding any moolah, any cash flow yet. No cash flow. A lot of expense, no revenue. Some investors don't like that. So that's what they're talking about here. They're saying, you know, there's a concern that these mega companies are basically running a 3-card Monte. Now, do I believe that? No, but that's fair. That's a fair criticism. It's a fair criticism. So let's move on to the second headwind, which is inflation. Now, inflation right now is about 3%. But President Trump said there's no inflation. He says there's no inflation. But in my world I live in, there's about 3% inflation. In President Trump's world, there's no inflation. So you believe whoever you want to believe. But here's what the experts are saying. Inflation is a concern. Sticky inflation may keep pressure on prices, potentially impacting consumer spending and corporate margins. So basically what they're saying here is if inflation continues to be sticky and starts to go up, it will impact consumer spending. And not possibly, it will impact corporate margins. Why? Because our economy is made up of 2 things: consumers and companies. Consumers and companies. If consumers are not spending, guess what's happening to companies? They don't have a consumer. They don't have any product being moved. The less consumers spend, the less products are being moved out of these companies. That makes sense. So that's a concern. Inflation going up can decrease both. That's a concern for next year. And then the third concern for next year is volatility. A turbulent ride is expected, with some analysts pointing to potential instability from high AI leverage. So they're saying it's going to be a roller coaster in certain parts of the year. You're going to be on a roller coaster. Some parts of the year, the roller coaster is going to be going up. Some parts of the year is going down, but no different than it was in 25. But the S&P 500 still delivered, 17% year to date? Even with the roller coaster, the S&P still delivered a 17% ROI. Year to date now, you got a couple days left, so that could change. But those are your potential headwinds. So you got 4 tailwinds, you got 3 headwinds from these experts. So here's the analyst outlook for 2026. This is from experts now, Wall Street experts at big, gigantic firms that get paid a lot of money with a lot of compute power to come up with these outlooks, not Richard Fain. I'm just reading what they have outlined here as their outlooks. First one comes from a company or an online reporting financial company or financial data set called FactSet. And this is what they say. They are projecting the median S&P target around 8,000 points for 2026. That's a 15% upside from where it is today. Again, guys, this is not my predictions. This is coming from the experts. They're predicting the S&P 500 to hit 8,000. That's about 1,100 points higher than it is right now. You do the math. Here's another outlook from a well-known big boy financial company, JP Morgan. This is what JP Morgan says. Forecasts a 13 to 15% rise driven by corporate earnings. Here's another big boy prediction for 2026. Morgan Stanley sees potential for a 10% growth, but highlights risks of high valuation. In summary, a skyrocket isn't guaranteed, which is true. It's not. But the outlook leans positive with strong tech/AI tailwinds potentially overcoming valuation concerns for significant gains, though investors should brace for potential turbulence. There you go, man. I just gave y'all a little snapshot of what the experts think. That's what the experts are saying, guys. The experts are saying that they are predicting the S&P 500 to be over 8,000 points in 2026. JP Morgan Chase is predicting a 10 to 15% rise driven by corporate earnings. So now even JP Morgan thinking that the corporate earnings are going to they're going to crush like they did in 2025. That don't mean it's true. I'm just giving you what JP is saying. Who is JP Morgan Chase? They're just the largest financial institution in America. They're number one. When you rank them, they number one, JP Morgan Chase. Yeah. They're one of the four horsemen. Fifth largest in the world. Yeah. So I think they got a little credibility. And then you got Morgan Stanley. Very credible outfit. They're looking at a 10% growth. Highlighted by rising valuations. Still got that little bit of thing out there about these big hyperscalers and these mega caps being overvalued. But yet and still, stock price keep running up. Now, I don't know. I'm no expert here. I'm just giving you the research. This is why I told you this little thing I got in my hand is a powerful tool. Now, that doesn't mean any of this is right. But what it gives a guy like me is the ability to be able to critically think now. See, now I can turn off the emotional side of my brain and I can turn on the logical side of my brain and critically think through what I just read. This didn't come from a podcaster. This didn't come from my favorite YouTuber. This didn't come from my favorite TikToker. No, this came from JP Morgan Chase. Big boy. Morgan Stanley. Big boy. So all I'm telling you, man, now I can critically think through this and get my game plan together. See, this is how critical thinking works. I go out and I read something from reputable professionals, not some guy on YouTube, not some TikToker. That's not a reputable person when it comes to finances, not in my opinion. I'm not a reputable finance guy because I'm not an expert. I'm just a regular guy who'll give you his opinion. I could be dead wrong. I'm not an expert. So I can't have anybody rely on what I say because I'd rather rely on what JP Morgan Chase says. Largest bank in America, fifth largest financial institution in the world. I rely on them, their research. And I rely on Morgan Stanley. I rely on FactSet. Yeah. Matter of fact, I even rely on Google AI and ChatGPT because they go out and get the information from the experts. And what they do down here in the little footnotes, they give you the full article from Morgan Stanley. Right? They give you the full article from Yahoo Finance. This is where they got all the information, CBS News. Right? See, you can go down here and get the full articles on all this research if you want to. But that's how you critically think through things, guys. Not from somebody telling you what to do, but no, you go out and read this information from verifiable resources. And then you critically think through your game plan. My game plan I just gave you. multiple streams of income so I can earn, live on less than what I make, live on a plan, stay out of consumer debt, save and invest, which is the 4 financial principles. That's number 2. And number 3, have a plan, and execute that plan consistently, disciplined, with patience. Boom. 2026, rinse and repeat, 2025. That's the game plan. What's your game plan? Tell me your game plan. What you got cooking? What's on the burners? What's your priorities for 2026? I can give you my priorities. Let me give them to you. I'll give them to you real quick. Number 1 priority in 2026, God. Number 2 priority in 2026, family. Number 3 priority in 2026, health. Health. Number 4 priority in 2026, helping people. And then number 5 priority in 2026, go get the bag, build the wealth, run this thing through the roof. Those are the 5 priorities. What are your priorities for 2026? If you don't have priorities right now already outlined and ingrained into the filter system, you got some work to do. You ain't got but a couple days left. Because once you get into 2026, in my opinion, it's too late because you're already behind the 8 ball. Psychologically, guys, you got to get this done now. Sit down today and figure out what your priorities are for 2026. Write them down. Keep them in your wallet, in your purse. Put them on your mirror in your bathroom. Sit down at the kitchen table, the kitchen countertop, on your patio, wherever with your family and run through this stuff. Get their buy-in. For you men out there who are the leaders of your family, include your family. For whoever else is out there that's leading their family, include your family in this discussion, guys. You need their buy-in. Attitude reflects leadership. I keep telling y'all that. Attitude reflects leadership. Whatever your attitude is, if you're the leader, these people following you, that's going to be their attitude. Attitude reflects leadership. If you're wondering why they ain't doing this? Why they ain't doing that? Go look in the mirror. You're the leader. If something ain't happening right in my family, guess who I blame? Me. Because I'm the leader. Attitude reflects leadership. Sit down your family and lead. For you men out there, lead. You're the leader. And I know some of y'all will disagree with that, and that's cool. If you ain't got a man in your life, or you woman with kids or a single woman or whatever you are, lead. But I'm talking to the men out there who have families who are not leading. You have to lead. You are kings. We are kings. We were put here to lead. And what I've recognized in my life is, if I lead and I lead effectively, my family does great. But if I lead and I don't lead effectively, my family doesn't do great. I'm the leader. I set the tone. I set the attitude. I set the direction. Appreciate y'all, man, for stopping by. And if you're stopping by for the first time, you know what to do. Get down in the description box and check out them links, man. Got that Moomu link, up to $1,100 in cash rewards / NVIDIA stock shares. If you're interested in that offer, guys, don't delay, act today, because it'll be disappearing here in a minute. Matter of fact, I think it's disappearing December 31st, if I'm not mistaken. But click on the link. It'll take you over to the Moomu website, and they'll tell you when it's when it's going away. But for right now, it's still there. So you got a minute to take a look at that offer by Moomu. And if you want to take advantage of it, take advantage of it. Here's another one. if you open the Moomu brokerage account and you're not comfortable using you don't know how to use the app, send me an email through my website, www.richardfain.net. It's down in the description box. Send me an email to that website and say, hey, Richard, I opened my Moomu account. Send me those tutorial videos that the good folks at Moomu put together for people who want to learn how to use their app, and I'll send them to you. And that way you can collapse time frames, learn how to use that brokerage app, get yourself in position so that 2026 could be an opportunity to do something special in your life. I'm not saying it'll be special. I'm saying you got the opportunity. All I'm looking for is an opportunity, man. I ain't looking for no guarantees. I ain't looking for nobody to hold my hand and skip me down the yellow brick road to see the Wizard of Oz. I ain't looking for any of that. I ain't looking for nobody to give me nothing. What I'm looking for is an opportunity. And I think 2026 will be full of opportunities. No one is going to hold your hand and skip you down the yellow brick road to see the Wizard of Oz. There is no Wizard of Oz. You control your destiny. God, who I serve, gives me choices. He gives me a choice every day I wake up. He gives me free will. He gives me a choice. He wakes me up every morning and I have a choice. I can be better than I was yesterday, or I can be worse than I was yesterday. I choose to be better. What do you choose? What do you choose? What will you choose tomorrow morning when you wake up? Appreciate y'all, man, checking in. Stopping by for the first time, please consider subscribing, share the video, smash the like button. Thoughts become things. See it in your mind, hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never, never, never stop believing in yourself. Stay healthy, get wealthy. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.